Now, I think a more concerning thing about Indy 5, The Dial of Destiny, is not just due to the fact that we have had a lot of honest opinions coming out by the critics at a Cannes Film Festival, but now we have even more honest opinions coming out after there were screenings over in Hollywood without any embargoes. This was basically Lucasfilm and Disney's idea of really getting more positive reviews out there, because Hollywood seems to be more lenient than anybody else outside of the country. So anybody outside of the United States, such as those in France and the Cannes Film Festival, they were very rough on this movie. And, well, basically to no remedy upon Disney, even the people that saw it in Hollywood are really giving this movie bad reviews. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and let's get right into the subject. Now, we know that Spielberg is an executive producer on this film. He's been really staying in touch with the fans. He was even over there at the Indy 5 world premiere last week in Hollywood, where he literally snubbed Kathleen Kennedy and Frank Marshall, really excluding the importance of our producer for the Indiana Jones franchise specifically. And when you look at stuff like this, about what Spielberg eventually had to say about basically everything that went into this movie, this just goes to show you that there's a lot more to worry about when it comes to the last adventure for Indiana Jones himself by Harrison Ford, and what Steven Spielberg was able to confirm here, I think is really going to worry a lot of fans, or really get fans, to be prepared that this may very well be another Last Jedi situation as far as backlash levels go. Now, let's get into this. Now, with Steven Spielberg as the executive producer, like I said before, for Indy 5, he has been reminding and remaining in touch with the fans about the making of this movie. Now, recently Spielberg went on to deliver something of substance to the fans by stating the following: "Having James Mangold involved with this film has been a national treasure. We may have had our disagreements and differences on certain decisions that were made for the film, specifically for the ending, but we also had many spectacular story choices that we both shook hands on. One thing I will say is the talented Phoebe Waller-Bridge helped us with this epic story that brings Indy on one last adventure, portrayed by Harrison Ford also for the last time. She's a talented creator, and we loved what she did with Fleabag and Bond, and we just had to let her contribute heavily with this film on how Indiana Jones as a character would be handled. She made some very bold decisions with this new movie that we can say some fans may not agree with and come out of the theater feeling different emotional responses, but that's the risks you take with filmmaking and in this industry to test your limits." Now, let me pause here quick, guys, about what Spielberg is saying. The reason why that this is awful news is that he is confirming that Waller-Bridge contributed to the screenwriting or the script of this movie, the story of the film, and much like how she did with Bond 25, about what she wanted to do with the 007 moniker being applied to a woman for a time. That was Phoebe Waller-Bridge's idea, by the way. She, as it turns out, what we have learned over the course of the past couple of hours is that it was Phoebe Waller-Bridge that contributed to making Indiana Jones a broken man. It wasn't just Waller-Bridge, though, it was also Kathleen Kennedy, and we've gone over some of the confirmed spoilers. We've talked to a couple of critics out there that have seen this over in Hollywood. There's no embargo. That's how, much of a big gamble Disney was taking, because they didn't want an embargo, because they were counting on Hollywood reviewers to really give this thing like an A+, and that turned out to be the opposite. To put things bluntly, guys, basically this movie is making him a broken man just as much as Luke was in The Last Jedi, which is exactly why I call this The Last Jedi 2.0. It's another Last Jedi situation, and it's sad to see that we're reliving a similar experience. Now, Spielberg is putting it out there that he loved what she did with Fleabag and with Bond. So make no mistake, Spielberg is not really with the fans 100%. He may not like the ending all that much, as he has made that very clear that he may have not agreed with the ending and that approach by Waller-Bridge and James Mangold as well as Kathy Kennedy. but he himself loves the rest of this movie. He raves about it. And of course he's going to. I mean, he's the executive producer. He's on the payroll. He's getting, of course, back pay as well, a back end. So we know that, obviously, he's gonna say good things about this movie. Does he truly believe in that? Who knows? I'm sure that he does believe in that. Spielberg, really isn't somebody that's against the whole Hollywood bubble, so makes sense. Now, here's the thing about this. He continues on to state the following. All right? So, he says, so we were more than welcome to have Phoebe on board, contributing to the story quite a bit in this one. Both Mangold and Waller-Bridge also took the ending in a different direction, which is going to be viewed differently among the masses, but we feel it's a good conclusion to the Jones adventures. Phoebe had the great idea of making this film an educational piece with interesting new dialogue for the audience that we may have never done before in the other indie films. Helena is a very well-written character, thanks to both Mangold and Phoebe, and really leads the show in this one many time. Phoebe really contributed to making this film very different in tone in comparison to the other movies. So here's the deal breaker about this, is that Spielberg is making it openly clear, guys. Need I repeat this? He's making it very clear that Helena Shaw is the leader of the movie. She is the star of the movie. She is above all else, and basically Phoebe made that happen. So again, we know that judging by the confirmed spoilers, we've talked about this. If you guys want to back out right now, please go ahead and do so, but we'll talk about it right here, right now. The reason why Indiana Jones is a broken man in this movie, we talked about this. His son Mutt is dead. Yes, this is confirmed. We've talked this over many times. Mutt is dead, so Shia LaBeouf is not in this movie or heavily seen as a cameo. That's not a thing. So he died in Vietnam, and that broke apart his marriage with Marion. They're divorced, and that's why he's a broken man. He complains about his aches and pains in this movie, once or twice, give or take, and there's also an entire backstory for Helena Shaw. There's also a big ending contributing to Helena Shaw about her going on new adventures and taking up the Indiana Jones spirit, but there's also a very big cameo for Indiana Jones to reunite with, to reconcile with, and that is an actual reunion between Marion and Indiana Jones. That was basically Kathleen Kennedy's backup plan to not get total backlash for the ending of the movie. So the ending is a mixture of somewhat honoring Indiana Jones, but also contributing to Helena Shaw going on her own adventures and taking up that Indiana Jones mantle to tease sequels to come out in the future. So again, guys, I mean, that's it. Those are the big spoilers that I think a lot of fans are going to have issues with, really breaking down and making him literally Luke Skywalker of the sequel trilogy, quite almost literally there. So guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.